Unreal. Here we are. I think, let's see. We're raw and real today and a little kind of snowy out there or something.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go. Welcome to the Real Ron. I'm Lynn Serrano and you are.
I'm Brian.
Hey, Brian. I'm so glad you showed up. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm glad I prepared for this show 3 minutes ago.
There you go. And I just did seconds ago. So here we go. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. I'm glad that, it's supposed to be real and raw and all that stuff. So the fact that you just prepared is awesome. It means that it's just going to be raw and real.
So I was supposed to prepare? Is that what?
No, we don't. That's not, there's no homework on this show.
I hope not. Otherwise, I might have to renegotiate my contract.
Yeah, right. Today we're talking about ways to connect the deepest. And we ended where we wanted to, our last show where we wanted to start today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall that a little bit?
No, I don't.
That's good because everybody can go watch a replay.
Please remind me.
No, just basically we were talking about relationships and connecting with people and the authenticity of relationships and as opposed to surface stuff. And we just thought that last week that this would be a good topic to talk about this week.
Right.
So
you're the one that came up with it, so tell us about it.
Actually, I believe we both kind of decided. And I'm always trying to give you credit. So there you go.
There we go.
We're the magpies over here. No, after you.
No, you.
You so love me. We have a love fest on this show. What can we say?
Boy.
And look at him. He's already turning pink. He's going to turn red. Don't turn into Oompa Loompa.
On with the show.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the connected deepest, sometimes like I get myself in deep crap and then I end up blushing and turning red. So that's yeah.
Long Island comes out.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's an introvert / once upon a time shy girl. We had Brian Balke on Deb's show, and he's Gulky, I should say. He's the he's the subtle skills guy. And I learned from the same teachers he did, but so I showed him my younger pictures and stuff. He goes, "Yeah, I see it." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I hide it pretty good, does it?" He's like, "Yeah, but it's really cool to know to connect with people. I had to feel comfortable by being able to read other people's facial features so that I could be comfortable." And there's Scott Ricard. Congratulations, Scott. I hear you just did some amazing stuff in your personal business. So congratulations.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so for me to connect with people, it was very, very difficult. I was very, very shy, introvert. Just a lot of stuff happened to me when I was young. So I was very fearful of connecting with people. And so, and it's taken like 56 years to get, push through all that stuff. And so as far as ways to connect deepest, it's, for me, it's a one-on-one thing. I'll just start with that, but go right ahead into,
I came up with 5 things and I just created them like 4 minutes ago. Okay.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your list and then see how compared to the list that I found.
I just went, like I do in a lot of times as being an improv person, it's like, okay, since we're going to have a discussion, nobody wants a very stoic, organized, for this type of environment, right? Mm-hmm. What would be the point of watching a show like this if you could already predict what we were going to say? Okay.
Absolutely.
So the first one I had is no agenda. Like when you're connected with somebody, there is no agenda, right? Mm-hmm. You're just, now, depending on the format or however it is, but it's like there's really no agenda. Like, and if you do have an agenda, like if it's in a business environment, it should be like, are you like-minded?
Yeah.
Do you have any chemistry? Do you trust this person? Right? I mean, that's a yes or no thing because I've went through this in my business plus, seeing other businesses. It's like, okay, the first time they meet somebody, it's like they're trying to go from A to Z when it's like, no,
A to the money.
Right. Oh, boy.
They don't even get through the Z. They get to the M and they stop right there.
You could sign right here. Press there 3
Yeah.
copies, as
Look
Jeffrey
at my.
says.
It looks like
So-
I have braces.
Wow, you got some special
Effects.
orthodontics there.
Special effects.
So the second one is there's nothing to get to, right? It's like when somebody has a preconceived notion or when they have some kind of hidden agenda.
It doesn't
If
work
they
out.
don't reveal what the agenda is up front, they're not going to be very much favored on the back end once that's realized.
Yeah.
Because what comes through somebody's language and what they often talk about is what's on their mind. So if somebody, it's kind of like you get those bogus calls. Is this a sales call? No, it's not. And then all of a sudden, 3 seconds later, the person's like, "Hey, do you want to buy, UFO insurance?" And it's like, okay, I thought that this wasn't a sales call, and then click, because they're trying to get around the fact and lie to you when they have an opportunity not to lie. Third one is full self-expression, because if you can't be yourself, not starting off with a good foundation. You meet somebody for the first time. In the end, you're either going to want to continue to talk to them and grow something or not. And I think that if you cannot be all yourself, you're giving a false representation of who you are. The fourth one is the power of humor, especially like in the beginning, self-deprecating humor. Put it on you, right? Make somebody else laugh at you because of you. But also, though, here's the thing. Anybody that can laugh at themselves first is so powerful in their own skin because they don't take themselves too seriously. And then the last one is the experience begins the moment it's scheduled, if not before, right? The environment that you want to create is up to you. Like if it's a business environment, from the first moment that they contact you all the way to the time that there's a call to action to meet in person, you have an opportunity to create whatever that is you want. Now, what you create is not necessarily going to be what it's going to be perceived. But you can do all you can to have fun, nurture, and hopefully one step at a time build that trust, that likability, so that when you meet with them face to face, let's say, you're not a stranger. They're not a stranger to you. You can recognize each other because you've seen pictures and all of that, right? You remove all the distance from that. But in my opinion, you have to be transparent and vulnerable. You have to, because that shows the real you.
I love everything you say, and all those things entailed is really how you and I started a friendship. Because personally, I went in with no motive. Granted, you said, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" Wait. But I was just totally open. Granted, I mean, we had weddings, and I dealt with brides, and you have dealt with brides, but that was only the commonality there.
Right.
And where it was going to go from there, I didn't know. And which I went to a bachelorette party, and they were all like, "Lynn, we really miss you doing parties and this and that." I'm like, "What? You gonna book parties? Whatever." They're just trying to get me out of retirement there.
Right.
But the thing I'm saying here is that I find you get more disappointed by expectations, especially when you're sitting there. I want to sell him this brush. He might have shaved all his hair off. I mean, like, what's the concept, But his girlfriend might have all the hair and might need the brush. Who knows? But to have that motive and to have that's what I'm going to go for, and for the kill, you're going to disappoint yourself.
And I mean, just from somebody meeting with somebody, that it's like, it's almost to the point where, like, if it's a business scenario, the person is like, "Hey, this all sounds great. What do you want to do next?" When you can openly say that to somebody and you're okay either way, instead of having it be so rigid, and I say this here and I do this here and I do that there, all the way down to, okay, now we're at the end of the table. The person is either wandering off because the person they're talking to is oblivious of the nonverbal communication, or the person leans in to be like, "Wow, what's next?"
Yeah.
If they're the one that's asking that, give them an environment to buy in. Don't sell them if it's a business environment.
Well, and I'll be totally honest, and to be honest, he could be watching now. And frankly, I don't care, because this is how transparent I am. But I am having a business call with somebody that we've been trying to get connected to meet since June. And it's a referral.
Okay.
And it has something to do with podcasting and live streaming he's interested in. But I have no intention, or don't know if he's going to be a client or not, or a best fit or whatever. But, I said, let's do a Zoom, and we're going to do it next Tuesday. But I'm going in hey, going to be nice to have one-on-one with you and what can I do and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But I have no expectations whatsoever. Just a good conversation and getting to know the person and take it from there. Because obviously we've been teeter-tottering the appointment itself. So
and it's a very to somebody that's never witnessed this before, like where it's genuine, it's authentic, but it isn't for anything other than somebody willing to allocate their time, which is the most precious asset, right?
Yes.
If somebody even on video is willing to allocate their time out of all the myriad of different things that they could be doing, or blow off the call, because all they have to do is hit the button on their phone if they're mobile, and you can connect with anybody, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, what if they're going to be willing to give you their time, personally or professionally? That's a big clue.
Yeah.
If they see what you have to offer of who you are is relevant. Like there's a mentor of mine, his name is Jeff Bajorek. He has a quote that says, "Be somebody worth talking to or something worth talking about."
Yeah. Love that. Love that.
Because why would somebody want to talk to you if what you had to offer didn't serve them? Or even, here's one thing that I think a lot of people get into business mode, right? They don't think to themselves, like, let's slow down the wheels a little bit. Instead of putting on the big tires, let's start on the training wheels and identify if I can even help you.
Right.
That is a valid question every single time in a business environment you're talking to somebody, and it has legitimacy. Right. Unless you're selling widgets or you're a drone or you sell commodity items where everything is the same.
Well, the one thing I do before that is, to me, I need to connect them as a human being. I need to look in their eyes and be like, hey, how are you? And what's going on? You know, I mean, I need to have that foundation, because no matter whether it's a business venture or not, you're not your business. That's not that's what you do. It's not who you are.
Correct.
And if I can't connect with who you are before what you do, you and I are not going to jive, because I can't relate to you as a human being. Right. And I think that was what's so fun about us. I just instantly felt so comfortable with you, with being goofy. I didn't even know you took my picture till you showed me later. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. But again, it was one of those things where, you know, no agenda, no nothing, you know. And I said, let's do a show. Like, okay, then let's do it, you know. Yep. But again, I think what's great is being present that moment.
Yep.
And allowing, and then what people don't understand, it's okay if you didn't. I don't think it's like a first day at the bar. You see them and you got the same friends. So just be, hi, how are you? And let it be. See them in their element. You see them in your element. And know that, hey, if you're supposed to connect and you like just, you know, being around them, then you take it to the next step. You don't have to do 1, 2, 3, bang all at one time.
Right.
Because let me tell you, that could be very disappointing. Personally, I know.
I was waiting for that last part, personal experience. But I think
wait a second. I don't know what I just admitted to, but never mind.
We're moving on.
Yeah, there you go.
If you want to review what we're talking about in, you know, a little bit of a broad sense, just rewind the video or watch again.
Or the podcast, yeah.
Lynn literally walks underneath a tire.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Without telling you exactly what it's about.
And I got more lives that I can.
And it's like, if you look close with the lighting, I look like I have sunburn, right? Lynn looks like she has braces.
No, I got to get the grill going.
She got the big grill.
Look, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, you can't see that.
Looks like she has all the metal on her mouth, right? So I believe that you had some graphics you wanted to share in terms of.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is cookie cutter, but if you're really looking for something that, you know, as a truly, how would I say, something to go by, these are just a couple things that are nice. Is, you know, it is be interested, you know, not interesting. I mean, it's one of those things where be interested in that person. Don't be so entertaining at first to be interesting that you're avoiding being interested in that person.
Well, like Dale Carnegie said, you know, one of the pioneers of self-development is that in 2 months you can learn more about other people, like, you know, than they can learning about you. So it's like you leaning into them, and then they gravitate towards you back, you know?
Yeah. And like one of the things I always love doing with my brides and all my customers and my parties, and it's totally true, is I love asking people, how did you meet and where did you meet? And, you know, and I know you'd love doing that with the wedding couples, you know, how did you meet? And, you know, how you're connected. I mean, it just, you can see them light up. You can see how they react, you know.
Well, that is that. Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
That's
Go ahead.
okay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
It
I want to
was,
hear.
and it's just the distinction is that they're going to share this personal information with you, and you're not going to use it in some manipulative way. You genuinely care. You genuinely are interested in them.
Right.
And here's the thing, that's where I think this whole value thing and perception people have wrong, right? Because you might think that you're projecting value. No, if they don't perceive that you are, meaning the end user, whoever you're trying to attract, it's not value.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people get caught up because they say, right? I give value. I do this. It's like, it's not up to you. You're not selling to yourself.
It's the eye of beholder.
Correct.
It is who you're talking to. Right. And, and I love this one. Number 3, listen to understand, not reply. Yep. I do that a lot anymore. And I'm okay that if after I listened, I have nothing to ask back
100%.
Because I absorbed what they said. And then I could end up asking another question or finding out more than them. It's just like even my kids that are adults, when they get going talking, I have to say, okay, shut up and listen. Because first I'm saying, oh my gosh, they're sharing something they don't normally share with everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm honored. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to listen, because that might be the only moment that they felt vulnerable enough, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, to talk to you about. And you missed the window of opportunity there.
And I think that number 3 brings up a good question, is that when people feel heard, mm-hmm. when they feel heard, it's not a moment. It's not you can't put it on a calendar. You can't put it on the clock, right? It just happens.
Yeah.
When people feel heard, it's one of the most magical places to be in a conversation or some kind of interaction. When they feel like you got them, really nothing more is to be said. It's meant to just be in the moment with them about that. But it takes shutting everything else off and having a genuine concern and not looking at them as like a dollar amount, right? Which unfortunately happens all over the place in our world.
Yeah. Number 4, don't close off your body by closing your arms, legs, barriers are in between. Where naturally we do read bodies, but unless they understand, hey, I just had surgery and I'm in pain, that's nothing personal, or, something. But, we assume a lot of things. If we are sitting there like this and not realizing, oh, Brian, I just unclipped my bra. You wouldn't know that unless, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Whoa, like, what kind of interaction is this?
There's my grill.
Lynn's got FX dental work.
Yeah.
Sandy Archer.
Hi, Sandy. Thanks for being here. And so then number 5, look into their eyes. Now, that's a big deal for me. That's why I love video chat. Sandy and I were just video chatting the other day. Video chat is like so important to me. I mean, because it's more so than the phone. I mean, it just, you can see, you can feel, you can be in the environment. It's very important to me. Mm-hmm. Number 6, open your heart to them by being vulnerable. And nothing's better than when someone's being vulnerable with you to reciprocate.
Oh yeah, 100%.
To also make them feel that, oh shit, I just told them something I never told anybody else. And then you're like, they've got something over on me. Nah, man, don't be like that. It's up to you to be just as vulnerable and say, Sandy says she loves our chats. I love our chats too. But do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, you would feel like, oh man, I just stripped like a deep, dark secret and I don't know nothing about them. You got to give one up for the team, because to me it's like they're being vulnerable. I need to be vulnerable back.
Well, how you treat the waiter is how you treat everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get better at that, because as far as my kids go, I grew up with 5-star restaurants for a little time in my life. And so, if I order something, I expect it that way. My kids are like, Mom, I'm sorry, but I don't want to eat this raw meat, or whatever it is, but they're always like, Mom, be nice. I'm like, I am being nice.
But it's like, let's say you're on a date or whatever. If you're, making the server crawl underneath the table by that point of view from somebody that might want to be considered to get involved with. Yeah. Big indicator.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Because it's like, we don't know the backstory. We don't know if they lost their chef. We don't know if this person was trained inadequately.
Right.
There's so many things that we don't know, but of course the server is the one that has the brunt of it because they're the face of the company for that couple or whoever they're helping.
And one thing I do there, I always say, hey, sir, I'm sorry, Brian, I know it's not your fault. I know it's a mistake. You guys are super busy, but I get sick if I eat this raw meat. Can you just take this back? That kind of thing. Yep. But I do say, hey, I don't want to complain. My kids are like, just don't eat it and leave it there. I'm like, okay. But, but again, it's just the way you approach it, it really is. And yet, I've gotten better about that. And again, like I said, my daughters all being servers, they've learned, you appreciate what they have to go through. Hey, I was a host at IHOP once when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, and the waitress go, Lynn, you want to take an order? I'm like, yeah, sure. And IHOP back in the day, 33 years ago, if somebody orders, pancakes and eggs and stuff, the cook just puts a pancake and an egg. The waitress has to put it all together and make it look nice and all this. I'm like, this is all the stuff you do to get that. I was like, I can't do this. Can't do it. It's such a hard job. Just a hard job.
I think, you got to just, like, the vulnerability. It's like, you can't expect to get something from somebody unless you're willing to give yourself. And it's kind of like respect. Mm-hmm. And I talk about this all the time with people, is that I'd rather give people the most amount of respect up front. Like, hey, it's like a reservoir, a pool of respect, right? Mm-hmm. I'll give it to you with no judgments, no whatever. And I'm going to leave it up to you to determine if I take a little bit of it away.
Yeah.
By something that happened or something you said or how you treat others or whatever. But I'm also an observer. I don't have to be in situations to be like, okay, what's the consistent behavior? How does this person show up consistently? That tells me everything I need to know.
Absolutely.
But it all comes without judgments. It all comes without assessments. But it's like vulnerability. There's nothing like it. Because calculated risk. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, if you're not willing to take a risk, there's no potential reward, period. It's not like you can be like, it's not like, I won 3/4 of a lottery ticket and the rest of it back.
Yeah. Almost don't count. Right. You either do it or you don't.
It's kind of like
do, but try, there's no try, there's do.
It's kind of like, okay, if I'm going to commit to taking this exit, right? It's not like I can do a maybe. No, I either commit and take the exit, or I continue to go straight, or I stop. Yeah. That's
it. Which reminds me, in Puerto Rico, my brother, he thought he'd get, because he drove in Europe in military, and he figured, it'd be easy to Puerto Rico, and he doesn't speak or read Spanish, and he kept saying, you know what, Salida. He goes, I wonder why that was always there. And it's like, it's exit Spanish. It's like, oh. It cracked me up. It's one of those things. You got to read the side and know what you're doing. Oh, well, thanks for being here, Rich. As a matter of fact, it's okay you can't stay, because guess what? We're out of time. We've been out of time. We've been in borrowed time, and you found us before we had to go. So thanks for being here, but we're going to leave before you do.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for being a part of our show.
Any last words, my friend?
Be vulnerable, be transparent, treat others as you want to be treated, or treat others as they want to be treated, whether it's the platinum rule or the golden rule. And the more you give of yourself, the more transparent, the more vulnerable you are. Don't be surprised if others do the same with you.
I love that. And needless to say, I think what a lot of people are missing in this world is, yes, be helpful. Yes, give to others, but don't expect anything in return. And don't have no hidden agendas. And you'll have a great life. So
here, how about this? I challenge everybody for a whole week. Everybody you see, open up the door for somebody.
I love it.
Do that. It'll fill your heart full of so much love. And it's something so simple. If you see somebody struggling with a cast on with their groceries, hey, let me get the door for you.
Yep. I love it.
Yep.
All right, Brian. You stay right there.
I will.
Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.